Hello students, and welcome to 17.2. Today we are going to take notes just like we did on 17.1. You should have a worksheet in front of you to take notes on. Today we're going to talk about classifying angles. And our objective today is to identify angles and angle pairs. Be sure that you write down your objective in the box on your notes and you follow along. Again, if you need to pause at any time, please do so, or rewind the video a little bit to make sure that you are getting all of the notes. We're going to go through quite a bit of definitions or some vocabulary words and some definitions, and make sure that you fill in the charts on the sheet as well. Our first definition or word term is going to be angle. And an angle is formed by two rays, which we talked about in 17.1, with a common endpoint. The two rays are the sides of the angle. Notice that ray BA and ray BC form angle number 1. Our second vocabulary word is vertex. The common endpoint of our two rays is the vertex. Notice where the rays BA and BC come together, the endpoint is letter B, so that's your vertex, forming angle number 1. Angles are measured in degrees, so be sure when you put down the angle, the degrees, that you have the little symbol of a circle basically superscripted above to the upper right hand of the angle measure. Angle measures determine the type of angle it is. So our next term is a right angle, and this is an angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. Much of this should be review for you, as you've had it before, but in case it isn't, it's a right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. The symbol, and you can see the symbol right here, indicates a right angle. Okay, and when you write an angle, so your picture is going to look like this. Please notice that you have the little box in the corner representing the symbol for a right angle. Our next term is acute angle, not a pretty one, just a cute one. Is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. An acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. And a picture of an acute angle would be anything, any measure, okay, that is less than 90. Our next type of angle is an obtuse angle, which is an angle that measures more than 90 degrees, but less than 180. And our picture would be something like this. Okay, you can see that 90 our ray would go straight up and down, so it's bigger than that, and our angle is bigger than 90, but it's less than 180. Speaking of an angle at 180 degrees, that is called a straight angle. Measures exactly 180 degrees, and the picture would be simply a straight line going in both directions. So let's look at some examples. We need to tell what type of angle each is. Is it acute, a right, an obtuse, or a straight? Symbol, or the picture of letter A, you can see that we have the two different rays going in different directions with the vertex where my pointer is. Are we less than 90? Are we more than 90? Or are we exactly at 90? And of course we're more than 90 degrees, so it's an obtuse angle. Letter B, you can see that we have an angle, again, that seems to be less than 90 degrees, and if it's less than 90, it's going to be an acute angle. Taking a look here, reading math, or reading angles, okay, you can name an angle, you can name this angle A, B, C, CBA, angle B, or angle 1. So notice that If you name an angle with 3 letters, please notice that the vertex has to be the middle letter. So you're going to start at one end, you're going to go A, B, C, or you could go C, B, A. You can also label it with the angle mark. When you do that, label it by its vertex, which is angle B, or by perhaps a number represented inside that angle of angle 1. And finally, 2 other examples we have here. This obviously is a straight line going in both directions, so we know that that is going to be a straight angle. And finally, we have an angle that again measures less than 90 degrees. So if it's less than 90 degrees, it's going to be an acute angle.
All right, Mrs. P coming at you here. We have complementary and supplementary angles now to look at. So what is a complementary angle? A complementary angle is when you take 2 angle measures and you add them together, and when you get your answer, you get 90 degrees. So if the sum of the measures of 2 angles is 90 degrees, then we say that the angles are complementary. Okay, so a couple things in there. Remember, it's the sum. Sum means to add. And we're only adding 2 angles together. So adding 2 angles together, if we add those and it's equal to 90 degrees, we say those are complementary. Supplementary angles then is if the sum of the measures of 2 angles is equal to 180 degrees. Those are then called supplementary angles. If you add 2 angles together and they do not equal exactly 90 or exactly 180, then we say they are neither. So complementary is only if they equal 90 degrees. If you get any other number, they're not complementary. If they equal 180, then we know they are supplementary. If it's any other number, it is neither. All right, let's take a look at example A here, using the diagram, the protractor, to tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. Just like Mr. Hughes mentioned, we have our symbol for our angles, and we have our 3 letters. So we have angle OMP, and we want to know if we add that angle measure with angle MPQ, will we get complementary, supplementary, or are they neither type of angles? All right, so now we're going to have to do a little math on the protractor to figure out what the angle measures are before we can add them together. Looking at our protractor here, angle OMP is right here. When we use a protractor, if we're going to the left, we use the outside numbers to figure out what our angle measures are. So angle O here is halfway in between 10 and 20, which means it's at 15. And P here is between 70 and 80, halfway, so that's 75. So if we started at 15 and we went to 75, we now have measure of angle OMP at 60 degrees, right? So we took 75 minus 15. There's 60 degrees in angle OMP. All right, so we have 60 degrees, okay? Now we want an angle PMQ. So P is halfway between 70 and 80, so 75. Q is halfway between 100 and 110, which is 105. So 105 minus 75 gives us the measure of angle PMQ to be 30. So now we have an angle that is 60 degrees. We have an angle that is 30 degrees. If we add them together, 60 degrees plus 30 degrees equals 90 degrees. Since it's equal to 90, 90 means complementary. All right. Remember that if the angle you are measuring appears obtuse, right, we know then it's going to be greater than 90 degrees. If the angle looks acute, we know it's going to be less than 90 degrees. All right, here's B. We want to find angle NMO and angle OMR. We want to determine, are these complementary, supplementary, or neither. So angle NMO is this little skinny angle down here. So N is starting at 0, and O is up at 15. So if I subtract, right, 15 minus 0, we know that this is a 15-degree angle. Angle OMR, whoa, look at that big, the whole thing here. OMR O is at 15, and R is all the way over at 180. So 180 minus 15 gives you 165 degrees. And all right, so now we know that one angle is 15 degrees. The other angle is 165 degrees. If we add them together, 15 plus 165 is 180 degrees. 180 means they are supplementary angles. All right, one more. See here. Angle of PMQ. PMQ. All right, so P is at 75, halfway between 70 and 80. Q is at 105. We subtract them, we get to be 30 degrees here. Our other angle, QMR, we have 105 to go to 180. We subtract those are 75 degrees. So we have a 75 degree angle, a 30 degree angle. If we add those together, 30 plus 75, it's only 105. That is not 90. That is not 180. So we say they are neither.
And I'm back. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much. But we're going to finish up with determining what an angle would be if we know that they're complementary and you're given one measure. For instance, if angles A and B are complementary, if A is 56 degrees, what is angle B? This is simply a mathematical formula of knowing that complementary angles are 90 degrees. And if one of them is 56, we're just going to take the 90 minus the 56, okay, to get our degrees. So we have 56 degrees plus angle B is equal to 90. In the end, we're going to subtract 56 from 90, and we're going to get angle B to be 34 degrees. Again, knowing and keeping aware that complementary is 90 degrees, we will subtract what's given to us from 90 to get 34. Let's try another. Angles P and Q are supplementary. Again, you should be thinking in your head right away, oh, supplementary, that's 180 degrees. That's what Mrs. Peterson told us. If angle P is 32 degrees, what is the measure? That's what M stands for, the measure of angle Q. So again, supplementary means that we are going to add the measure of angle P plus the measure of angle Q to equal 180 degrees. Here we're going to substitute in for angle P, which is 32, so we're going to subtract 32 from 180, and we're going to get the measure of angle Q being 148. Again, always keeping in mind, is it complementary or supplementary, and just subtract the one angle that's given to get the other angle. And your homework assignment for today, or that's due tomorrow, is going to be the worksheet 17.2. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Have a good day.